In this session, we are going to discuss about contingent worker. In our previous videos, if we look at multiple times, we have talked about worker, means employee for a organization. Whenever we are defining work relationship, the relationship between the worker and legal employer, we call it as a work relationship, which is different types here. Okay, so we have seen number of times worker, and now in this particular session we are going to talk about contingent worker. In the next session we'll discuss what is meant by pending worker, how to convert the pending worker as normal worker. We'll discuss in the next session. So when it comes for the contingent worker, generally when it comes for the definition of contingent worker, whenever the contractors are working for the organization as an employee, they are going to provide their services. They are going to be a vital part of the workforce in the organization. What they do is contingent workers are going to offer the skills and services on a provisional basis, means based on some conditions. They are going to provide the skills and services to the organizations. Like it comes under contractors, consultants, freelancers, and temporary workers. These all categories comes under the contingent worker. We can say contract employees, freelancers, temporary workers, who are typically under a contract to complete a project or fill a role for a defined amount of time. So particular time will be there 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year contract, okay, or 1 year freelancing method. This type of options will be there. So that we are going to have it. So whenever we are working in human capital management, if we want to work with the contingent workers, if we want to go for hire an employee contingent worker method, make sure that you have the access called human resource specialist. Then we'll go to my client groups, go to new person. Whenever we go to new person, here we will find hire employee, pending workers, contingent worker, add a pending worker, and non-worker. We'll talk about that also in the next sessions. What is meant by non-worker and how we can create. Here we are talking about contingent worker. Let me take this contingent worker. The moment whenever we choose the contingent worker, here it is asking placement date, not hire date. When we go for hire an employee, their hire date, and it was asking a hiring action. Now it is placement date. Let's say he's going to work with us from January 23rd. He is going to be a contingent worker, placement to fill the vacant. This is all actions and action reasons. And I'm going to take this contingent worker for US1 legal entity. We'll find here last name and first name. These all are general options. We'll be providing prefix and suffix. If we want to enter the name in local language, if at all required, we can choose this local. Make sure that your instance supports multi-language. So MLS functionality must be enabled, multi-language support. If we don't want, we can go for release this and then enter the date of birth. You'll find almost all the same details. Somebody has enabled descriptive flex field. That's why we got this additional field. Now click next button. Here person information, identification, person, employment, compensation, and review. And these details we are going to specify here. Home address is mandatory. And then phone details, email, legislative information, citizenship, passport, and contacts information. It's going to be captured here. Click next button. Now here work relationship details, and we'll specify for which business unit we are going to take this employee and what is the assignment status, active, payroll eligible or not. Specify this. Find the location. This comes under payroll. In case if we are attaching the payroll, then we will go for attach payroll salary details and compensation information here. Now let's go for search this employee and we go for person management. In case if we don't have any approvals process, directly we can search employee here. Then we'll be able to find. Its effective date is from January 23rd, right? Click search button. It's a start date. Maybe it will take a couple of minutes time. How to find whether it's been approved or not? We can get it from tools menu, transaction console. Let's go to transaction console and see the status of this transaction. Transaction console will show us whether it's approved or it's waiting for any approvals, or in case if it is rejected, what could be the reason. Click on this failed option. We don't want any statuses which are failed. I want to see all the transactions. Now it's showing me that status is in progress and the process name is add contingent worker. Okay, click on this particular transaction. Let's see. Let's check the status here. It is already approved. It seems submitted by so-and-so employee, HR specialist. It has been approved by workflow system. It means it's auto approval we have. And if we look at the transaction history, we can find here transaction history. And this is our transaction ID internally. So we can find when this has been submitted and to whom it has been assigned, who has approved. The entire information we can find here. Let's go to person management and search for the record. Go to person management. Search for the first name or last name. We'll find Kranti Kumar. It's not exist. Let me cross check the notifications. It's approved. Okay. Kumar Kranti. This is person number. It's valid from 1st January 23. Now this is the record. Click on this. Now we can find here C. C stands for contingent worker. The moment whenever we check the assignment status, you will see the starting letter. If it is an employee, then we will find E. E for employee, C for contingent worker, N for non-worker. Okay. So the assignment number, the moment when we check the assignment number, that time itself we can say whether he is a contract employee, means contingent worker, or permanent worker. So whatever the person number is there, Before that, it's going to be prefix. We are going to have the letter called prefix. Now, this is in the front end. Here itself, we can find this employee, and we will find worker type here. Worker type as contingent worker. If it is a normal general employee, permanent, then we will find a worker. Work relationship worker type is going to be worker. This is going to be contingent worker. Okay. Now we'll see this record in the database. In the database, we are going to check this record. Let me open the same information in another private window, new private window. Let's open this private window here. Log in with your user. We would like to query this information from the backend, from the database tables. What we have to do is we need to connect to reports and analytics. Let's go to Navigator. Tools menu. And we will go for reports and analytics. Tools menu, reports and analytics here. And go for create report here. Go for create a data model by writing the SQL query. Now here we are going to write SQL query here. Employee data. Choose the data source, nothing but our database here. Human capital management. Let's write the query. Select star from for all people of where. Yeah, this is our table for all people F, which contains our employee data, where person number equal to whatever person number we have. In single quotation, we are going to give. Let's search for the record. What is the primary key here? Person ID. Person ID is the primary key. So in this table, we don't find person names. We will just find person number, which user has created. Of course, who columns will find, which user has created by creation date, last update login, and last updated by last update date. And we will find person number here. And we will also find mailing address, primary national identification number, this data. We don't find person name. Where we can find person names, we will be joining another table. So we have to join another table here. Let's say this is our for all people F table, ppf dot person number. Let's join another table for person names. For person names underscore F. Right. We'll go for write the condition here. All people F dot person ID equal to ppm dot person underscore ID. Now we will find here person number, ppm dot first name, ppm dot last name, ppm dot full name, and find all these details. Now let's go to data, search. I can find this information here. I have two records here. When it comes for this, two records, but we had only one employee, right? Then why we got here is, if we look at the another column called type, I'll go to this tab data, and whenever we go for view, we can find, see, this particular name type is global name and based on the language. This is a global and the name is language, US. So whenever we are writing this, we have to choose another column called name. We are supposed to specify the name type. We are supposed to specify the name type. What exactly this name type is? This column tells us whether the name is global or local. Whatever the name we have defined, that is global or local. For example, I don't want the local names. I just need only the global names. We are supposed to write another where clause and ppn dot name underscore type equal to global. Name underscore type equal to global. We can find. So most of the queries when we are writing HCM, obviously we will be specifying the global variable name, global employee name, whatever the name is there that we are going to. We enabled in the starting of the session one checkbox, right? In case if we want to enter the local name that we are going to specify. Okay. So this is how we can go for hire a contingent worker. Almost the same details we are going to capture like a normal worker, but it's in a contract worker. We will be finding the proposed date and then we are going to hire it here. It is. Okay. Thank you.